welcome back to Mini-Modelog. It's a Friday, and as promised, I'm doing you the put together of the leader of the chosen axes. Fjul Grimnir, I believe is his name. I'm not very good with my pronunciation, so if I'm saying it wrong, I apologise. But I'm going to do you the put together of that. And all you really need for that is a pair of these, a decent pair of clippers. Now this is from the sort of paint set that I bought, the beginner's paint set, which I reviewed quite a while ago, and it's had a lot of hits, so thanks for everyone who's liked or made a comment on that. And I will get on with putting Fjul together. So obviously I need these, which are the instructions, and Fjul is actually number 2 in the instructions. So I need pieces 6, 7, 8 and 5, so it's only 4 pieces. So I'll just need to pop that way. I know it's facing me, and that's not always the best thing, but I'll have a look for which parts I need. So looking at the sprues, I believe I'll need this one because obviously his main body is on there. So what I need to do is I need to clip out his main body and his head, which I believe is this piece here. Let me see if I can find the numbers. Yeah, that's number 5, that's number 7. So number 6, which is what I was after. I don't know if you can actually see it on the actual sprue, but it's a tiny little number just there. Not the greatest place of putting it. It took me a little while to find, but so I need to cut this piece out and this piece out. That's his base, and then that's his beard and so forth. I think that's going to be the fiddly bit, and I've got to be really careful with that when you do cut it out. But for now, let's cut this bit out. And obviously, like I say, you need clippers. Go in as close as you can and clip it there. Obviously be really careful when you're doing round the feet, because round the feet you have the 2 pegs which actually fit into the base. So you really don't want to cut those, so just be really careful not to cut those off by mistake, because obviously otherwise he won't go in his base. So that's his body. Not much to it really, but that's his body, so I'll bob that down there. And then we want his head, which I really don't like the look of cutting out. Obviously take your time with cutting out, don't rush it, because if you do rush it you might make a mistake or end up cutting something you shouldn't cut. So that's those 2 pieces. I'll now get his beard, which is there. I like to get all the pieces out that I'm doing, so I know I've got everything before I start putting a model together. Especially with things like this, because you need to make sure you have all the pieces. But that's all the pieces. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see a bit better. So sorry about the stutteriness. I'll remove this because I don't need this anymore. And I'll bob these together. So first off, you want to push his head, which is that piece, into his body, which is this piece here, and it just goes in the top there. And as with most of these, they do require a little bit of a push to get them in. Don't be too violent, but you need to give it enough stick to be able to get it in. Obviously this one's being a pain. It definitely goes in first according to what it says on the instructions. So I think this goes over the top, which it does. Wow, that's a clever model. When you do this one, don't be alarmed when you put the first part in. I thought I'd done something wrong, but turns out the second part of the model covers the holes that I thought I had. Because when I did it, there was some tiny little holes. If I can get it to focus, yep. Some tiny little holes just above his beard. You can't see it very well on the model itself unless you've got it in your hands. But there were some tiny holes where I put the first piece in, which was his headdress, and then the beard. And I thought for a while there, for a second, while I was quiet, that I'd done something wrong, but I haven't. And that's basically him entirely. And then he just goes in his base, which is the easy part, he says. And there you have it. Fjul Grimnir, finished. It looks really cool. I mean, I'm loving the Fire Slayer models. I saw these when they came out for Shadespire and was like, oh, they just look like Troll Slayers. And then as I've read more in AOS, I realised they're Fire Slayers and they can have Magma Droths. Now that's really made me want to collect them in AOS, which I talked about at the start of the video. But that's him put together. I'll put the other 4 together, and at some point I'll get them painted, and then I'll start showing off my shadespire warbands one by one. But that's the put together of Grimnir. Hope you like this video. About now, my subscribe button and Monday's unboxing should be popping up. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button to see more, or hit the like button. If you want to let me know how to do anything better, bob a comment down below, or if you like what you're seeing, bob a comment down below. And I'll see you next week for What Have I Bought This Month, I believe. See you then.